Hello everybody. Today we're going to put in some more carrots and spring onions, and this is my late March kind of planting, so I'm going to stick a couple more of those in, and then we're also going to start some quick heading broccoli. I'm going to try and get a batch of those out before my main crop comes in, and we're also going to put in the early potatoes and the second early potatoes. Finally found that out, which I'm pretty happy with. So that's some Nicola and some Marris pear, and I'm also going to put my peas in because they're getting a bit leggy, and at home they keep getting munched by snails. So I'm going to set up some little teepees for the peas. I'm going to do teepees this year just for the wind basically, because it gets quite a lot of wind on this plot, and last year I did a kind of linear strip and that got battered by the wind on many occasions, so I'm going to go with some pyramids for strength. Alright, let's get busy.
Let's have a look at the chits before I take them down to the plot. So here we've got the Marris pear with them around it, chitting well. And then the Nicola next door to it. These two are both second earlies. I did previously say some of them were first earlies, but I looked it up and they are second earlies. So they'll take a couple of more weeks to grow, but we should get some bigger spuds. The one is a waxy salad potato. And then the main crop I'm going to leave for a little bit longer. Even though the pink gypsies are starting to go a little bit wrinkly. We'll see how they. I might put them in between the second earlies and the main crop ones.
So these two are where I'm going to put my potatoes in. I'm actually going to run them north to south this way, so I'm going to combine these two beds into a block. They're like 9 foot long and 4 foot each and a 4 foot of the path. So when we take that out, we'll have a nice square, and then I'm going to run 5 trenches for putting the spuds in. All right, let's take all these taps off. So these have been under cover for a month, and you can see we've got some weeds here growing in from the path edge, so we're just going to get these out. Oh. But as you can see, because they've had no light, so there's not much green on them, they're a lot easier to get out. So let's just give them a bit of a rake down, and we'll see if we can just finish off the top. So I am going to be like putting trenches in, but I just want to get the last couple of little bits of green manure out of these, and then we'll crack on. Yeah, I think that's one bit of cooch. Damn you, cooch grass. Well, that one looks nicely clear. We'll go at this. So we've got little bits of the green manure that I didn't manage to get out first run, but we'll get them out this time. So that's a bit of cooch invading. So seeing them doing more spuds this year, I've treated myself to a new tool. This is a Chillington ridging hoe. So it's kind of pointy, and for dragging it out, I'm going to make some ridges and some trenches cutting through. But the first thing I need to do, so get a bit of practice in, is take out this wood chip here, which is pretty much squidgy mulch now. So I'm going to use this just on the bed edge, just to stop any more things creeping in. it all up. I only did this last autumn. Probably not the perfect tool for this job, but it's working quite nicely. Just going to rake some of the manure into this path that I've just made up here and level it all out, and then I'll start putting some trenches in. Well, let's actually get busy with this. So say that's the middle. I want to do two. One here, one there. Oh, this is interesting with clay. Heavy, heavy clay. Well, this is going to take a while, so let's come back to it when I've done a bit more. Well, I'll be honest with you, I've not used this for everything. I have started cutting it with this because the claggy clay soil has been quite tricky to move, so it's still really useful, but I'm going to do a bit of both. Yeah, I'll do. Alright, cool, so that's the trench done. So I'm going to just chuck some fresh manure in the bottom of it. It's the stuff that comes onto the site, and a bit of bloodfish and bone. So let's get that going. So this is my bloodfish and bone, BFB on the bag. Sprinkle a bit in. Not vegan this, sorry. So here's all my chitted potatoes. So we've got nice colourful sprouts growing out of them. So let's put in the Marris pear on this side. Alright, hopefully that won't fall over. No, that'll fall over. So let's pop one in. So you want your chits to be facing up because they're going to be the, they have got a name, but I'm just going to call them sprouts for now. Around about a foot spacing. Some people give up to 18 inches, but I haven't got that much space. That's 4. Should have 9 of these, but I've got 10 of these. Bonus. Let's put that one there. And I'll just put this tiny spud in here. There, that'll do. Now let's fill it in. I like no dig, but I think spuds should probably be done dug. Many might disagree, but it's good exercise in the green gym. Tidy up my edge. See, last year I only did main crop, so I was doing this 1 month later, and the soil was a lot less wet than this. One of the nice things about putting the leftovers from the path down the side, I can see when I actually get the mud from that was in the trench. Still a bit of invading cooch. All right, well, I'm going to do one more trench here, but I'll do that one in private. Well, that's all the potatoes done. I'm going to put some peas in now. Bit early because they're getting leggy and eaten by snails at home. So let's have a look at that. So here's where I'm going to plant my peas. I'm going to do 3 wigwams up in a row and then wrap around with string for something for the peas to hold on to. This bed has been a bit of a tricky one. I only cleared it like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't put enough manure down on top, so all of the green manure has just binded into the clay, so it's been really hard to like twist out. So I've just had another go at it, raked it all over, and then kind of broad forked it with a normal fork, so I'm going to call it narrow forking, and just like lifted up the soil and dropped it back down again, not inverting it. So let's whack in, but it's been pretty tricky, and I think I'm going to get some grow back of basically the ryegrass. So I'll have to keep on top of that. At least I've planted my own weeds for once. All right, let's put in some canes. So I need 12 canes here because I'm doing 3 TPs. So let's start off with 2 here. So I get push them into the. Actually, what you want to do with your canes is you want to put them in the way that they do, because they've got these notches on. And then the string doesn't go up or down on it. I'm doing wigwams for these rather than a long assembly, like a line, because there's a lot of wind at some times of the year. And I did like a linear one last year and it got blown over. So we'll get all these canes in. I'm putting these in. These were actually meant to go in at the beginning of April, but I'm doing them now because my poor little peas keep getting nibbled on by snails. Keep invading my little mini tunnel. Or little, well, I can't call it as a tunnel, it's more like a set of shelving. So get all those in, put these on the other side. Hey, nobody's perfect, things always fall over. It's a skinny one. So I don't know if these are going to be tall enough, because one of my varieties, Champion of England, grows up to 10 feet tall. I think once I've stuck these in, they'll be 7 feet off the ground, so they're going to spill over. But you know what? Buying 10-foot bamboo, bloody expensive. So we'll just stick with 8-foot canes. For the tops, I'm going to recycle some of the string from last year's contraption. So you find an end, or you make an end. Let's just chop this bit out here. So make yourself a slip knot. Pull that tight. Pop it around the top of one. Helps to tighten it up. Bring it over to the other. And then lash the two together. Pull around on that one. And just pass it through itself a few times. Get the next one. Alright, and then just tie it off. Nice and tight. Alright, one cane is up already. Alright, I'm going to do a couple more, but I'm just going to cut now to save my battery. So I've got those 3 up now, and now I'm going to run some string round everything. I do actually want to run it from top to bottom, but got a bit of a small ball going on here, so seeing everything's still quite short, I'm just going to do a few loops around the bottom, and let's start with this one. If you get it underneath the knot, then the loop doesn't go up the cane. All right. Double that up again. And let's just do one, take it round. Yeah, the snails got one of me sweet magnolias. I only had 5 growing, And they nibbled the bottom of the stem. Spin that around a couple of times. I need to get some more string. Trusty pocket knife. Oh, let's just tie that in. So that's one of these done. Now let's put some peas in. What should we have here? Seen I mentioned them. Should we put the sweet magnolia in? Here we have them. See, they've got a bit leggy. It's just not enough light in my backyard at all for peas. So let's wiggle these out. And I'm going to start for these, because I'm doing a succession sowing, I'm going to start with the first ones on the northern side. So when they've grown up, the sun will come in here for the new ones. So that the first sowings don't actually shadow the last ones. Alright, let's dig a little trench out here. Funnily enough, I'm using the kids' trowel, because I've got a grown-up one, but for the life of me, can I find it? Alright. It's just such a small trench for this one. Okay, let's pop that in. Okay, let's get rid of my pea sticks. Gently get rid of the tray. Fantastic roots on these. I'll just tease them out a bit. I think these should have gone in like a week ago. They're only 20 days old from sowing, so they've grown on really well. Like, I thought it was 30 days for days from to transplant, but I think it's a lot more like 15 for peas. But that'd be good. Did waste some money on an extra gutter though, so you know, these were well ready last week, and I've got germination on the second batch as well, which just started yesterday. Oh, let's pop that in there, break them in half. Okay, so they can go up there. See if I can tangle them into these. This is why I grow them in lines, because if you grow them in cells, they just get so intermixed into each other. So let's push some of this soil down. I think I might just do one more zigzagging through them. Well, look, this is day 2. I didn't get everything done yesterday, so I've still got to do my quick heading broccoli. This should come good in 60 days. I'm trying to get an early crop in before my main crop comes. So we're going to plant this lovely thing from real seeds, and then we're going to do another batch of spring onions and some early Nantes carrots. Right, but we're going to do something else as well, which is I'm going to put in my pink gypsies a month earlier, because look, they're looking a little bit wrinkly. So let's get them in the ground, and they're better off there than sitting in the too warm room. So these two beds are going to be my brassica beds. I'm just going to uncover this one, and we're going to put in the quick heading broccoli. So let's have a look underneath. This actually has been down for a month, so it should be ready to roll. Let's have a look. Cool, so it's not bad. It's one or two little bits of the ryegrass still coming through. So let's get rid of those. And look, there's a couple of weeds down here. Let's have a closer look. So this is the whole thing about tarping. So when you block out the light, plants obviously need light, so they come up all weak and sad like these here. So we'll get those out, and this is the last bit of the grass. It's all gone all yellow and that kind of thing. So let's clear those, and I'll come back in a minute and we'll get planting some quick heading broccoli. Well, Calabrese that is. Let's just give it a nice little rake over to get a nice smooth surface out of the top, nice and level, which always helps for water running off it and that kind of thing. Let's have a go. Really gentle with your tongs, you don't want to go in too deep at all. Just levelling out the high bits and filling in the low bits. And also good to mix in a little bit of the dressings that I put on before I put this tarp down. So I put on chicken manure to go on top of the horse manure that went in last autumn, and some bloodfish and bone, and a bit of lime. Apparently lime is important for brassicas, so it's the first year using that. So I wonder how it turns out. Just do this last little bit. So that's ready to roll. Alright, let's do some dibbing. So I just want to mark out my positions for where I'm going to plant things. So we're doing 1 foot spacing. Let's start a line there. And I'm only doing 6 rows of this quick heading because I want to start off some of the main stuff in a succession. So I'm going to start them on the end and then work the way back in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6. Alright, and then some rows this way. We'll do 1 row 6 inches in. Another one 1 foot from that one. One 6 inches in this way. And something in the middle. Well, they're not perfect, are they? Cool. So I've got my spots. Where the crisscrosses intersect, I can just about make them out. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few seeds on the where they're joining up. Oh, let's pop a few in my hand. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. spot. A few there. And then just muddle them in. We only want to be like half an inch down. So I've not started broccoli direct before. So I'm going to have to come back and thin these out if any actually germinate. Still a bit cold for germination. Seems a bit wasteful this multi-sowing then to thin out, but seeds are seeds, they're not very expensive, are they? Let's go. A few in that spot. It's a nice damp bed to be sowing into anyway. And then we'll do the same again on this side. Sprinkle a few into my hand. So when these are actually germinated, or if they actually germinate, then we'll come back and we will thin them out. So we'll just pick the strongest looking one from each area and take it from there. And that is real seeds, quick heading Calabrese or broccoli. An unusual quick maturing strain with small heads ready in 60 days from transplant. Useful for getting into an extra crop at any part of the season. Well, this is where my rhubarb, and last time it was just one tiny little leaf, and I've got a good nearly dozen there coming up. That's good, bright. I'm not going to pick any of this. This is going to be for next year's crop. Let's have a look at the next one. Now this one's even bigger, doing very well. And this one's just thrown out a big leaf. It was a set, so one's meant to be an early, mid and a late cropping rhubarb. I'm not sure which one's which. Here we've got my best Romanesco so far. I might actually pick this one and take it home. I just need to get it before it gets nipped by another frost or goes to seed and flowers and breaks out. Should I take it home? Should I leave it in the ground? Who knows? Sprouting broccoli's looking quite happy. This is the short one, but look what happens to the tall ones. Ate by the pigeons. I'm going to have a little go over these and see if I can get some broccoli to take home. Take off all the florets. Well, here we have a Pluot Flavour Supreme. It's a cross between a plum and an apricot. Starting to bud up on the side there. Good signs of spring. Here we have a pink currant. This seems to be budding up too. Here we have the strawberry bed, which we mulched with straw. Very nice and traditional. We've got this done at the weekend as well. So these are all looking very healthy. Started with 6 plants last year, and it's come on to fill up the whole thing. And here we have the daffs, still glowing away. Well, that's the end of a very long episode. So if you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe just underneath here, and then you can see what's happening next. Next is going to be what to do in early April as I'm working my way through the year. Alright, ta-ra!